Hey, good afternoon. This is Pete from FigLife.com, and today I'm looking at a fig that I've been really excited about. Been anxiously awaiting its arrival, and it has finally arrived. It's Calderona de Miner. All right, good afternoon. Today I'm looking at a fig tree called Calderona de Miner. This is not to be confused with the fig tree called Calderona, which is a completely different variety and supposedly a pretty good variety. But this is Calderona de Miner, and it's a Pons fig. And look at these leaves here. So you got some trilobe leaves, and then look at this giant spade leaf here. That's kind of interesting. So some kind of neat leaves on this. It's not a very big tree. I grew it this spring. I got it as I think it was a rooted cutting, and it hasn't grown a lot for me. I'd say it's maybe it's not fair to say this is one of my smaller trees, but I just say it hasn't grown a lot for me, just a little bit, but it has put on quite a bit of fruit. So compared to the amount it's grown, it's actually put on quite a bit of fruit. And you look at the size of these fruit here. Here's the one that's ripe. I'll just pick it. Pretty good sized fruit on this thing. Hopefully it's not super spoiled, because it did rain a ton the other day, so I'm not sure what it's going to look like on the inside, but let's go take a look at this. All right, good afternoon again. So this is Calderona de Miner. I took it out of the organza bag, and really looking good, actually. I'm not seeing a lot of spoilage, which I was concerned about, and it's looking pretty good on the outside. I'm hopeful that it'll have a nice sort of look on the inside as well. So I was just looking in my my book, Fig Trees of the Balearic Islands. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is Montserrat Pons' book. It has a lot of his varieties in here. So I was just looking this variety up, because what better way to find out some information about this fig than to look at the authoritative source of information about this fig. So I was just comparing Calderona and Calderona de Miner, and actually, so I said it was a completely different variety, and maybe I should clarify that. According to Pons, this is actually very similar to Calderona. There are slight differences, but not huge differences. First of all, Calderona de Miner comes from I don't know if it's a province or what it is, but the location Miner. So Miner doesn't refer to like the size of the fig or something like that. It actually refers to the location from which the fig came. So Calderona of Miner, from Miner. And let's see what else here. It looks like it has slightly thinner skin than Calderona. Calderona has thin that's slightly thicker. Pons lists the Calderona skin thickness as medium, whereas this is actually described as a thin-skinned fig. And then the ripening date, there's a slight difference in that Calderona has a ripening date of 22 August to 12 October, whereas Calderona de Miner is 27 August to 26 September. So the ripening date of Calderona de Miner is just like 5 days later, but then it ripens more quickly. So it ripens the entire crop more quickly than Calderona does, which takes longer to do that. And otherwise, there's just a slight difference in the shape. They both have a pyriform shape, but this is a more oval, or he calls it ovoid shape to it than just the Calderona variety. And I think that's, let's see, what else? It's Calderona is described as having a soft consistency, whereas Calderona de Miner has a medium consistency. And they're both sweet and juicy. Oh, this is sweet and juicy, whereas Calderona is sweet and tasty. So there's a slight difference there, I guess. Anyway, yeah, otherwise they look they do look to be pretty similar otherwise. So yeah, that's what Pons had to say about Calderona de Miner, and I was comparing it specifically to the other variety, probably the more well-known variety, Calderona. But it sounds like both figs are pretty similar. And I've heard actually a lot of good things about Calderona recently, although I don't have that variety personally. I have heard a number of different growers saying good things about Calderona. So let me go ahead and cut this open. It sounds like a good variety, a good fig, but you know, this is my first fig off this tree, and not clear if this particular fig will live up to the expectations set in this book here. So let me cut this open. Oh yeah. That is looking good. Look at that. That is looking really, really good. Oh my goodness. I am really happy with that. Look at that. I gotta take, in fact, let me take some photos of that, because that is looking really good. All right, got myself some photos. Calderona de Miner, and this is looking really, really good. I could not have expected it to look like this after the weather we had yesterday. I mean, we had the Hurricane Ida, I think it was called, come through the other day, and we had, I mean, easily over an inch of rain. I mean, it's probably closer to 2 inches of rain. And and I've had a lot of spoiled figs. In fact, I was walking around, I don't have it here with me right at this moment, but I was walking around with my garbage bag today rather than my plate because I was just throwing fig after fig in the garbage, just cleaning up after the hurricane. But came to this one, and this one seemed to be okay. So now to cut it open and get a fig of this quality is really, really nice. So let me go. Let me try this then now. Let me go ahead and cut this open. This is a little bit exciting here. So the shape of this fig is a little weird. It's a little off, and it's just the way it was growing on the tree. I'd say this is probably not a typical shape of this fig variety. It was kind of like growing a little sideways. You know, sometimes the fruits get a little bit deformed when they're kind of squeezed in a certain way. So that was true in this case, but the inside of this just looks really, really good. And this is a fairly large fig. I mean, this is a quarter of the fig right here in my hand, and look at the size of this. This is about the size of a whole fig of a lot of figs that I'm eating. Okay, well this looks really, really good. Let me try it. Yeah, really good. It's got a sweet berry flavor. It's got a lot of syrup on it. I mean, there's just syrup all over this thing. So, you know, Pons described it as juicy. I guess that's probably looks to be true. Let me go ahead and try another piece here. Yeah, it's a nice sweet berry flavor. The skin is kind of chewy. It's got a really I don't know if the skin is sweet or if it's just the sweetness of the fig kind of bleeding into the skin. But a really nice taste to it. I think if it did not rain so much yesterday, I think it would be an even more kind of intense taste to it. I wouldn't say it's a light flavor, but I just think if it did not rain so much yesterday, I'd probably be getting a little more sweetness from it. Because right now it's I'm getting most of the sweetness actually from near around the skin for whatever reason. The pulp itself has a nice syrupy texture to it and a little bit of sweetness, but not quite as much sweetness as I would expect from a fig that looks like this and has this sort of texture associated with it. So I think the huge amount of rain that we got yesterday has probably diluted the flavor a little bit, but still a really good fig here, Calderona de Miner. Really nice. And in terms of the flavor, you know, a nice berry flavor. Boy, what to compare it to? Well, it's really sweet and kind of chewy. I almost want to, I don't know. I almost want to say like LSU Tiger, but that's not really a fair comparison because those figs are so different. It's a good flavor, berry flavor, sweet, kind of a chewy skin, and a big fig. Fortunately, I'm not eating dinner for a couple more hours, so I'll have a little time to digest that before I move on to my dinner. But a really tasty fig there that's Calderona de Miner, and really looking forward to trying some more of those when it dries off a little bit and it hasn't had dumped a ton of rain yet, you know, the day before. In which case, you know, that could be a top fig if I can let that dry out a little bit and get a little more flavor from that. Not that that was bad at all. It's just that I think there's some potential there to be really, really good. So that was Calderona de Miner. Really a great surprise, actually, that fig was as good as it was, considering how much rain we got, and the fact that I've only been able to actually eat a couple figs today, just because the rain has ruined so many of the figs. So, so a real promising variety, and looking forward to trying more of those. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Check out my website, www.figlife.com.